Da-da! Welcome, welcome, welcome. So today I wanted to answer a question that was sent to me in terms of social activism. And I wanted to take the opportunity with this question to talk about the warrior class. Okay, every culture, every nation has a warrior class. In modern time, those people, that class is called the military. Okay, so no matter what country you're in, you have people from the military. Okay, and those are the people who are in charge of protecting the physical protection of the nation and the people they belong to. Okay, so the question it was a question on one of my social media, and question that I also received similar question via Facebook Messenger and the Facebook page, and basically it's with regard to social activism online or in real life, where people feel like they have to engage in this kind of social activism that consists of roaming on the internet and seeing what's appropriate, what's not appropriate, being constantly looking out and looking for what is wrong, what's happening that's not right, that you can voice, that you can pinpoint, that you can highlight and make posts about, share the posts that are denouncing this, denouncing that, etc., etc., etc. And the person who asked the questions, and all of the people actually who send questions in, refer to the same thing, that when they started doing that at first, they felt very empowered. They felt as part of a community, they felt that they were making a contribution, etc., etc. But as time goes on, they realize that they start to be depleted. They start feeling that this kind of activism was not pleasing to them. Some of them started feeling depressed. They started feeling negative all the time. They started feeling negative energy around them all the time. They started feeling that the people they really care about start distancing themselves from them, so that some people also refused to listen to them, refused to be on board with their agenda or whatever else they were taking part of. So they started to feel isolated from the people they love. They start also to see that this kind of activism affected the way they interacted with the children, in terms of often being angry or being frustrated and taking that on the children, or not being able to relax around the children because you're worrying about what someone else is doing somewhere, or what someone else is doing in some area that doesn't actually affect you personally and directly. And those women started saying that, they were really starting to be depressed and they just didn't know what to do. A lot of them had considered stopping, but for some reason they wanted me to address and ask and let them know what I thought about it. So I thought this was a great opportunity to talk about the warrior class, okay, and to help you understand what the warrior class is, who are members of the warrior class, and why it isn't for everyone to be a warrior, why it isn't for everyone to participate in warfare-like activities. Okay, and I know that a lot of people like to refer to themselves casually as warriors. Now it almost became like a term depleted from its sense, from its normal sense. Okay, because when you say to somebody, oh, I'm a womb warrior now, I'm a light warrior now, I'm a anything you can name them and adding the word warrior after that. To me, I'm not talking about it. I'm really talking about the warrior class in terms of the people who are there to provide physical security to members of the community, to members of the nation. And so these individuals are not people who one day woke up one morning, were recruited online because they saw some cute night post or meme and decided, hey, I need to do this, or they so-called a YouTube video and so. No, this is about innate characteristics that you have within yourself. So I hope these elements are going to help you to view and assess whether you are a member of the warrior class in the nation or the community that you belong to, or whether this is something that you shouldn't even be considering because that's not part of who you are. Okay, in every society you have different groups and classes that are assigned a specific role. If a nation is a team, then you have the attack, the defender, the offense. Everybody plays a part in society. So the The assignment for protection, protection and war is assigned to a specific group. It's not everybody meddling into that. It's not everybody that can be a soldier. It's not everybody jumping into that. And back in the days, I mean, before they have all of these different new ways of recruitment, because before, new ways of recruitment due to the lack of enrollment and the lack of quality, sometimes a quality warrior, before, in order for you to join the army, you had to have specific characteristics. It wasn't just anybody. You had to be physically fit, and fit to a point where you can actually meet certain standards. It wasn't just because you're a human being and you can hold a gun, you were sent over there. There were specific criteria to determine whether you were good enough to even join in, okay? And those criteria were physical, but they were also mental, the type of mental games that you can handle. So it was a physical and a mental evaluation to make sure that we wouldn't get just anybody, that you'll be able to have the mental strength, the physical strength, of course, in order to do all the exercise to complete missions, so forth and so on, but also the mental strength and the mental ability that you wouldn't be manipulated or you wouldn't disclose, divulge, important information, things of that nature. Okay, so they are specific traits that people had to have in order to belong to that caste. And when you have a caste of warriors, it means that most likely this is within your family. Okay, and it is within your family, and you start emerging and knowing that you belong to that caste, or maybe you be born in a family that doesn't have that, but you do have that, and you are called at some point to join the warrior class because you exhibit the characteristic needed, and it's an internal call. You need to be involved in activities that will ensure the physical or emotional safety or security of others. You need to join the army. It doesn't become something of necessity. You're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because it brings you something within yourself. You feel aligned to doing that. Okay? And so soldiers and members of the warrior class are individuals who have a specific purpose. Purpose to be able to lose your life for a cause. Whatever cause it is that the nation has decided, whatever cause it is that the kingdom has decided, or the community has decided. This is not something that you just decide on your own and you just feel like, okay, I feel like this, so I'm going to go off in there and attack those people, or I'm not going to do some order that I received. That's not being a warrior. That's not being a warrior in the sense that I'm talking about, at least, within that context. Okay, this is even though there is a hierarchy within the warrior class, where you will have, just like in the army we have now, you have the captain, somebody who has most experience. In order to get to that grade, you need to have some experience. It's not just anybody proclaiming themselves to be leading a group somewhere. It's somebody who has demonstrated experience, like a track record, and it can be in a specific area. That's why sometimes you have in the army, the Air Force, the Marines, etc., etc. So you can develop an expertise in in a hostile land, for example. The jungle, you can be an expert in the jungle, somebody else can be an expert in the desert and stuff like that, in different environments. But you have to develop also the expertise in order to be recognized or to be appointed where you have a status where you can actually participate in the decision-making process. But an ordinary soldier, an ordinary warrior is not here making decisions. You're taking orders and you're executing the orders. You're executing things that need to be done in order to complete the mission. So you're not here to think in that way, in terms of what is the situation. You're supposed to think about how you're going to implement whatever else that's been given to you as a mission to do, in the context of what and the boundaries that you're given to do them. Okay? So that's one aspect, that if the thought of dying for a specific cause, losing your life for a specific cause, it's something that frightens you, it's something that brings you anxiety, it's something that you don't align with, therefore you're not a member of the warrior class. Okay, the thought of having to sacrifice your own family, to be away for months, even sometimes years, from your family, from your children, from your spouse, is something that aches you, something that gives you anxiety, something that pushes you into depression, then you're not part of the warrior class. If the thought of you having to do things, to take orders, even when you disagree about them, you are not a member of the warrior class. So, I think you need to assess that. You need to assess and start thinking, what does it take to be a warrior? What does it take to be a member of that specific class? It goes well beyond what you're reading on social media. It goes well beyond your little imagination, imaginative. Sometimes it takes to meet people who are in that class. Meet old soldiers who came back from war. Let them tell you about what they've seen, what they had to do. And the reason, if you currently feel like you have to be involved and you've been doing this social activism and it leaves you and it continues to deplete you, to make you feel depressed, to have anxiety, to be triggered from anybody and people have to walk on eggshell around you, that's because it's not for you. It's not. You must always put your own mental well-being and physical well-being and overall well-being first. You shouldn't sacrifice that to join somebody else's cause. And I'm not saying that those causes are not noble. Social activism, some people find them noble and they want to know, and they have the best intentions to maybe be somebody who really cares about you. Fine. But you have to make the line in deciding, even though this person is well-intentioned, even though, yes, you find that there are many injustices going around, but you have to realize, is it your place to be involved in that type of way into this situation? Are you willing to sacrifice your well-being, your sanity? You're feeling depressed, but you feel good because you managed to make a post about something. Is the feeling that you get, can the feeling that you get compensate for the depression that you are going through? For the harshness that you have towards your children and the resentment that your children are developing towards you because you're constantly talking about things that are negative that they don't want to hear. And the other thing with that is that when you are involving yourself in that and you start being depleted and you start having anxiety and you have children and your children start distancing yourself, your children start not liking you because of that and feeling the negative energy around that, you are actually robbing your children from their innocence, from their childhood, from the prestige, loving moment that they can have with you. So I think it is time for you to reconsider and to let go of that. And I know sometimes the pressure can be big, it can be huge, especially if you join a group that's putting pressure on you to be a certain way, putting pressure on you to do certain things online or offline, things that you don't really agree with, things that do not fulfill you, do not satisfy you. You have to be strong enough to step back and step away. You have to do it for yourself, you have to do it for your children, you have to do it for your family, for your community, for your nation, because you stepping into something that does not serve you, does not help anyone. Does not help anyone. So if you are not a member of the warrior class, you have time now to explore whatever else that you are actually being called to, where you can actually contribute to. And the way you will know that this is something you need to be taking part of, this is something you are, that's a part of you, is because of the satisfaction that you really receive doing it. Okay? Women or men who are members of the warrior class receive much more from being involved in warlike activities, in the military, so forth and so on, in sometimes even social activism, because they are not going to be feeling depleted. They are not going to feel anxious while doing that. On the contrary, they're going to be on the verge of feeling fulfilled, of feeling empowered, all those different terms. And they are not a majority, they are a minority. In every community, it's a minority that compose the warrior class. Okay, so that means most people are not going to find any form of satisfaction into that. Okay, most people. So if you are not finding any satisfaction, if you feel like you're really doing this deep down inside when nobody is watching, you're really doing this in order for people to accept you into this particular group. You're really doing this in order for people to validate who you are, to value you more. That means you're doing it for the wrong reasons. And that means this is not aligned with who you are and what your purpose is. And while you're wasting your time, you're wasting your energy, involving yourself in that and feeling depleted, I'm here to remind you that you have the choice to choose differently. You have the choice to step back, to really afford yourself the opportunity to follow your purpose, to listen to your purpose, and to be engaged in something that's going to be really satisfying your own soul, rather than satisfying superficial things that you feel that you need to do in order to obtain something from other people. Following your own purpose is going to satisfy you without you having to resort to other people perceiving you a certain way. So no, everyone is not a warrior. And I think those who try to pretend to be warriors when you're not, that's why some of you are having those mental challenges, those constant fighting within your own self, between your true self, trying to do and go towards things that are more joyful sometimes, or things that don't have any confrontation or nothing to do with that, and the self and the part of you that wants that kind of social recognition and social media activism in order to justify, in order to gain some form of status. And so I'll encourage you to just have moments with yourself, to question yourself about the motivation that you have to take part in certain things. Anything that's leaving you depleted and anxious, angry, hateful, you need to really pay attention to that and really assess if it's something that you want to continue indulging in, or if it's something that you would like to let go and make room and change your direction, so you can actually take part in things that are a lot more aligned with who you are, and who can actually support your well-being, help you also contribute to your family and your community in a more beneficial way for you, in a way that's also going to be a lot more satisfying, a lot more fulfilling for you and the people around you. So I know there are people who will say, no, we are going through this so quote-unquote war, and that everybody needs to chip in. But as I said, not everybody is a warrior. And I think when you know what your position is, you can play it better. You can improve yourself at that position. You can perfect it. You can perfect the different things, the different aspects and the different skills that you need to perform your position. But if you don't know your position and you're just trying out everything and all it goes, then this is why you can get in a place where you constantly feel depleted, you constantly feel misunderstood, you constantly feel conflicted about what to do, how to do it, what people think, what you even think about it. You can even confuse your own self searching for that. So to me, social activism is not for everyone. If you are trying to let go of that, you don't have to go cold turkey. You can go by small bits, by being less and less active in those communities, by leaving some of those online communities, by changing who you're following on social media, by stopping to share certain things, and by choosing positivity over negativity, by stopping to want to point the fingers that's being pointed right back at you by other people, by stopping to want to argue constantly with people and choosing to live a life where you don't have to confront anyone, where you don't have to argue with anyone all the time online or on social media. That's a choice. That's a choice that you can make. And I'm just here to remind you that you have that choice, okay? And for those of you who are warriors and who are fulfilled by what you're doing, I think it's important also to ensure that if you are speaking about this with others, others who may admire you, that you do also realize that this admiration may push them to join your cause, or to want to join, or to want to emulate who you are, what you are. And it becomes then your responsibility to just make sure to remind them that they do have the choice. And if you see that this kind of choice is leaving them depleted, anxious, and whatever else, it will be wonderful for you to remind them that that is not what it's supposed to cause them to feel, and that they do have the choice to contribute in a different way. So I hope this video was useful, and as always, I'll see you in the next. Bye bye.